Residents on Western Australia's Kimberley coast are getting ready for some heavy rain and wind as tropical cyclone Errol approaches.
The system is expected to continue weakening today before crossing the coast as a tropical low as soon as this evening. Our reporter Dunja Karagic joins us now from Broome, which is just outside the warning zone. Dunja, what are conditions like there at the moment?
Yeah, Emma, so as you mentioned, that is just outside the warning zone now. So the system has decreased to a Category 1 intensity and it has shifted closer towards Kuri Bay, which is 370 kilometres north of Broome. So Broome, Beagle Bay to Broome is no longer in that warning zone, which is good news for residents in that region. So the system is currently sitting about 290 kilometres north of Broome. So there is a warning for damaging winds, which may develop between Mitchell Plateau, that's 850 kilometres north of me here in Broome, and Cockatoo Island from late Friday morning. There's a slight chance those damaging winds could also extend to Beagle Bay if the system continues to move further south, but that won't include Derby, which is good news because that's the most populated town in that region. There's also a warning for heavy rainfall, which may occur between Mitchell Plateau and Beagle Bay today, which will persist into the morning. But we have spoken to a number of residents on the Kimberley's Dampier Peninsula who say that they have been preparing together with their communities and they are feeling quite certain that if things were to go pear-shaped and if there was to be a lot of flooding, that they have taken all steps to prepare for this cyclone.
So what does that mean for everyone's Easter plans there in the region?
So yesterday, the Department of Fire and Emergency Services did reach out to multiple communities as well as businesses in that warning zone region, advising them to stay alert of the forecast and also warning travellers to keep aware of the conditions and consider changing Easter plans. For a lot of Broome residents, that would have meant travelling up the peninsula or up the coast further for camping trips, but a lot of businesses have decided to actually close today and tomorrow due to the potential rain. Others have remained open but have warned visitors that they may be isolated if flooding is to occur up there on those communities because those dirt tracks are prone to flooding.
Yeah, so we know that the flooding can occur often well and truly after the cyclone has hit the coast, but when is that likely to happen and where?
So that system is currently 290 kilometres north of Broome, but as I mentioned earlier, it has fortunately weakened and it should actually weaken to a tropical low when it crosses the coast at Kuri Bay. So that's below tropical cyclone strength and it is currently moving faster than earlier at 26 kilometres an hour. So it should make landfall at Kuri Bay later this afternoon.
Okay, thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Now to breaking news out of Melbourne, where police have shot dead a knife-wielding man in the city's west. Costa Harados is at the scene in Footscray for us this morning. Costa, what's the latest?
Catherine, this all unfolded about 9 o'clock last night on the intersection behind me, the corner of Albert and Paisley Streets in Footscray. Police were called amid reports of a man walking down the street carrying a knife, and once officers have arrived, they've approached him and tried to negotiate, but he then charged towards officers and they've opened fire on the man. Paramedics treated him, but he died at the scene. Police presence was escalated, but it has just moved away. They are now providing an update as they work to piece together who the man is and what his intentions were. The Mayor of Maribyrnong was also here last night and he described a little bit of what he saw.
A lot of police in attendance, as you can see. All I can confirm at this stage that there has been a shooting, an armed individual lunged at our police and they've opened fire.
Catherine, professional standards will now oversee this investigation. That is common practice as police continue their investigations.
Thank you for the update, Costa.
In other news, New South Wales Police are appealing to the public to help identify a body found in a burnt-out car in Sydney's southwest. Firefighters made the grim discovery after putting out the blaze in Beverly Hills last night. Police say they cannot tell if the deceased is male or female. Anyone with CCTV or dashcam footage is urged to contact authorities.
3 men have been rescued after a boat overturned off the Gold Coast this morning. Police say the vessel hit a large wave on a Gold Coast seaway at Main Beach, causing it to capsize. Warnings for hazardous surf conditions have been issued along the coast of New South Wales, right up to Gowrie, north of Brisbane.
Health authorities say synthetic opioids up to 500 times more potent than heroin have been detected for the first time in the Northern Territory. The compound has been linked to deaths and overdoses in other parts of the country. In Victoria, a coroner's report has revealed a group of 4 people died after inhaling what they thought was cocaine, but nitazene compounds were later detected in it.
Queensland Health has visited all Monash IVF clinics in the state after a patient was mistakenly implanted with another woman's embryo. The mix-up saw a Brisbane woman give birth to someone else's baby, with the IVF provider blaming human error for the bungle. The ABC has been told Queensland Health reps have been visiting all clinics to check policies and procedures.
Pope Francis has made a surprise visit to a Rome prison, offering well wishes to inmates ahead of Easter. The 88-year-old pontiff is gradually making more public appearances as he recovers from double pneumonia. Pope Francis stayed at the prison for about half an hour, with the Vatican saying he met with a group of about 70 prisoners, and is expected to make at least some other Easter time appearances over the coming days.
And some parents at school sports day in Jamaica have had to well and truly settle for second best. I think that's an understatement. After one of the fastest women in the world turned up and laced up to support her son, Shelly-Ann Fraser-Pryce, who has 8 Olympic gold medals and is the 3rd fastest woman of all time, joked they hadn't banned her yet. Well, they should. She easily romped home to victory, just as she did when competing in the same race 2 years ago.
Look at that acceleration.
Emma, that is crazy. And I think she just needs to start later in the race, like 2 minutes later.